Hi, I'm Mara Cope, the K-12 World Languages Curriculum Specialist here in CMS. In this brief video, I will share aligned resources for exploratory K-8, as well as high school credit world language courses for the 7 different languages that we offer here in CMS. These CMS support documents are critical components in your instructional design to ensure that all instruction is aligned to the appropriate language proficiency targets and culture proficiency targets required by our 4 essential standards in North Carolina. So to get started, you're going to want to log into your NC Ed Cloud to access Canvas. I've already done that. From there, once you're at your dashboard, you want to find this red global navigation toolbar and scroll all the way down to the little folder that says CMS Resources. So you'll click on that, and it will open up a new menu with a green button that says Teacher Resources. Click there, and it will take you to an easy access for all curriculum resources for pre-K through 12. For world languages, since we don't divide by grade level, you just go ahead and click on World Languages, which is in the center, the orange button on the top row. Once you get to the landing page from that icon, you'll see that you can find our contact information, and there will be a link to all grade level courses. So when you click on that link, it actually takes you to our CMS World Languages website. You also have a quick way to get there from any email I've sent you, where the link is usually embedded in my signature. So if we're talking about standards, we need to make sure we know what those are. I'm going to click on our Essential Resources page on our Google site, and you'll see that there is a link that will take you to the World Languages Essential Standards. You can go ahead and go through the entire document, program-specific unpacking documents, or the newest unpacking documents that were released in 2016 that are called COCOS, the Course Outcomes by Clarifying Objectives. Those will be there for every single level that we offer in the district, and they give you a quick snapshot of what the minimum exit proficiency expectations are for each course. So if that's the minimum, that means that our proficiency targets for what we need to teach, based on research, we're told that that should be 1 to 2 sublevels above the minimum exit expectations as outlined by NCDPI. For example, if it says that the minimum expectation is novice mid, then our proficiency targets for that unit should be at novice high to intermediate low. Well, how do I know what that looks like? Our standards were written 10 years ago and they're very vague. We have these national necessful, actful, can-do statements that break down all of our modes of communication and intercultural communication into can-do statements by proficiency level. And that helps to quantify and qualify what that might look like in your classroom, what students should be able to do at each proficiency level. So that's incredibly helpful to help you as you're thinking about setting those proficiency targets and making sure that you're aligned at 1 to 2 sublevels above the minimum as outlined by our state standards. So if we've got those 2 resources to help us understand the proficiency levels, what do we need to do when we're talking about the curriculum? Well, for most of us who do have curriculum documents, let me show you how to find those. We're going to go back to our homepage and scroll down. And for exploratory K-5, exploratory middle school, Latin, Spanish for native speakers 1 and 2, high school credits levels 1, 2, and 3, we have CMS-specific curriculum documents. For anything that's honors 4 or higher, for the most part, we're going to follow whatever the College Board or the IBO has put out as the national, international curriculum expectations. All right, so let's go ahead and take a peek. I've already downloaded a Level 1 Unit 2 curriculum document for you. And you'll notice that it already has a proficiency target range for you. It doesn't specify novice low, mid, or high. Our COCOS will tell you that for some skills it's novice low and for some it's novice mid. We just know that we need to target at least novice high for most. And for some, we might want to even be looking at intermediate low when we plan our instruction. So locally, we already did that for you when we wrote those curriculum documents. We've given you a couple of performance objectives, usually 2 or 3 for the whole unit, and those will be at the top of whatever portion of the unit we're looking at. Then we want to break it down to even smaller performance indicators. And those performance indicators, we might have 2, 3, or 4 for each portion of that unit, just for that specific performance objective. And we have a matching performance assessment task at the end of that portion of the unit. To get us there, we've even given you mini learning targets that are usually what students should be able to demonstrate that they can do at the end of 1 to 2 lessons, maybe a little bit longer if you're at the middle school and you have that extended time. For each mini learning target, we have a matching performance task. For the performance indicator, we also have a matching performance task. They are already standards aligned, and they're already targeted 1 to 2 sublevels above that minimum proficiency exit expectation. So they're already set there for you. All you need to do is follow this roadmap, making sure that you are hitting these targets and planning your instructions in ways that you are building students' proficiency in language and culture towards each of these mini targets and the larger indicators and performance objectives, because they're already standards aligned. You already have multiple performance tasks. That's what we're doing. That's why these curriculum documents are so essential to making sure that we are helping our students work towards proficiency in all 3 modes of communication, as well as interacting and investigating the target culture, and all of it's being done in the target language. So as we consider these provided curriculum resources, as well as all of the other supplemental resources and support resources available on our website, it's important to lift up the Year 4 work of ILT that's centered around looking at student work. This practice utilizes the Looking at Student Work protocol, and it embodies the work of digging deep into our standards, whichever content area that might be, to provide students with appropriate tasks that align with the language, depth, and rigor of specific content standards, maybe even for that particular grade level. For world languages, the depth and rigor are driven by the proficiency targets for each task, not for the text that we're using to do the task. Keep that in mind as well. This Looking at Student Work protocol also allows for a critical review of your instruction through personal reflection, as well as collaboration with your PLC, whether that's in your school or with job-alike people of the same language across various schools in the district. Finally, it supports data-driven action planning in response to student learning demonstrated or not demonstrated through reviewed work samples from performance tasks, which you do all the time for all of the modes of communication. This allows teachers and teams to plan and provide students with opportunities to learn and extend their content knowledge in new and authentic ways, with specific options to reassess that student performance. This work is so important to world languages because it allows teachers to build students' proficiency, again, in all 3 modes of communication and in interculturality, while setting consistent and high expectations for all students. If you have any questions regarding the curriculum, the standard aligned tasks that are already embedded in the curriculum, or any of the resources to support this, please contact me at mara.kobe@cms, etc., or at 980-343-2650.